In Sri Lanka, a man encountered a wild elephant in a rural outdoor area where human activity and wildlife habitats intersected. During the encounter, the elephant suddenly charged toward the individual, leading to a fatal incident before assistance could arrive. Local authorities and wildlife officials later responded to the scene and reviewed the circumstances surrounding the encounter. Wild elephants are unpredictable and can react defensively when approached or startled. Individuals traveling or working near wildlife zones should maintain a safe distance, avoid provoking or approaching animals, and remain alert to warning signs and restricted areas established by local authorities. An incident captured on video involved a tractor driver losing control of the vehicle during a recovery maneuver. The tractor had become stuck, and as the driver attempted to maneuver the machine free, control was lost and the tractor tipped. Agricultural machinery must be operated and recovered according to established safety protocols. Before attempting to free a stuck vehicle, ensure that the ground is stable, the wheels have adequate traction, and no personnel are positioned near rollover or slip zones. At a roadway near the Nalgonda bus station in Telangana, India, a woman was crossing through an active traffic area while an electric bus was proceeding along its route. During the crossing, the bus made contact with the pedestrian in heavy traffic conditions. Pedestrians should cross only at designated points, after confirming that approaching vehicles have fully slowed or stopped. In congested transport zones, large vehicles such as buses can have limited stopping distance and visibility, making cautious movement and clear separation between pedestrian and vehicle paths essential for safety. On the Palinas-Cuintla highway in Guatemala, a heavy truck traveling along the roadway lost control and crossed into opposing lanes of traffic. The truck then collided with multiple vehicles, including passenger cars and a motorcycle, creating a chain reaction crash that spread debris across the highway. Heavy vehicle operators should maintain controlled speeds and increased caution on high-speed highways, especially when transporting large loads. Loss of lane control in mixed traffic environments can rapidly escalate into multi-vehicle collisions, making defensive spacing and vehicle stability management critical for roadway safety. On March 4, 2026, a fatal roadway incident occurred at the intersection of Junín and Progreso Avenues in Piura, Peru. A 65-year-old woman identified as Maria Pardo Zapata was returning home after work and attempting to cross the street using a walking cane. According to reports and surveillance footage, traffic had temporarily stopped at the intersection, allowing several pedestrians to begin crossing. As vehicles slowly resumed movement, a municipal garbage collection truck proceeded through the intersection. The driver reportedly did not see the woman as she moved near the vehicle's path, and the truck struck her while continuing forward. Large service vehicles such as garbage trucks have significant blind spots, particularly near the front corners and sides of the vehicle during low-speed maneuvers at intersections. Drivers operating heavy municipal equipment should perform complete visual checks before moving forward, especially in pedestrian-heavy areas and near elderly individuals or people using mobility aids. In London, England, a woman was walking near a residential roadside area when a passenger vehicle traveling along the street approached at speed. As the woman moved beside a parked vehicle, the approaching car failed to slow and struck her before continuing from the scene. Drivers operating in residential areas should maintain reduced speeds and remain alert for pedestrians near parked vehicles, driveways, and roadside activity. In China, a vehicle carrying a parent and 2 children reportedly fell into a river after the driver made an operational error while reversing near a waterfront area. According to reports, the driver lost control of the vehicle during the maneuver, causing it to roll backward down an embankment and enter the water. Nearby workers who witnessed the incident immediately responded and assisted in rescuing the occupants from the submerged vehicle. Emergency services later arrived at the scene, and all 3 individuals were safely removed from the water. Drivers operating near waterways, loading zones, or open embankments should reverse at low speed while maintaining full awareness of surrounding terrain and vehicle positioning. Using parking brakes correctly, checking rear visibility, and avoiding sudden pedal inputs are essential when maneuvering in confined or high-risk areas. Physical barriers, warning markers, and spotter assistance can also help prevent accidental rollbacks and reduce the risk of vehicles entering hazardous zones near water. On January 2, 2026, a serious public transportation incident occurred in São Sebastião, Brazil, involving a crowded city bus traveling through a curved roadway section. A 26-year-old female passenger was standing near a side window while holding a support rail as the vehicle continued along its route. During a high-speed turn, the window assembly suddenly detached from the bus structure, causing the passenger to fall out onto the roadway. The individual later passed away due to the incident. Inspections, especially for doors, windows, handrails, and standing passenger areas exposed to vibration and repeated daily use. Operators should also ensure that standing zones are clearly managed during crowded conditions and that passengers remain positioned away from vulnerable vehicle edges while the bus is in motion. In Vietnam, a motorbike carrying 2 occupants was traveling on a national highway when it approached a section with active heavy vehicle traffic. During movement, the motorbike became involved in a collision with a container truck traveling in the same direction. The impact caused both riders to be ejected onto the roadway, where the rear passenger was struck by the truck's wheels. Motorcycles operating near heavy transport vehicles must maintain sufficient lateral and following distance to avoid entering blind spots. Highways with mixed traffic require heightened awareness of vehicle spacing, as trucks have extended stopping distances and limited maneuverability. In Taiwan's Kaohsiung region, an incident occurred involving a young man who was attempting to capture a green iguana using a long pole with a looped snare. During the operation, the pole made accidental contact with an overhead high-voltage electrical line. Long-handled tools can unintentionally bridge unsafe distances to high-voltage lines, creating severe electrocution risks. In China, a woman reportedly experienced a fall while moving across a mountainous area covered in ice and snow during a trekking activity. According to accounts, the surface was highly slippery, and the individual lost footing while navigating a sloped section of the terrain. The fall resulted in a descent down the icy surface before she was reached and assisted by nearby people. Snow and ice-covered terrain significantly reduce traction, making even moderate slopes hazardous without proper equipment or technique. Trekkers should use anti-slip footwear, maintain controlled step placement, and avoid exposed icy inclines when conditions are unstable. At a railway crossing in Indonesia, a man began crossing the tracks immediately after one train had passed through the area. Unaware that a second train was approaching from the opposite direction on another track, he continued across the crossing and was struck by the oncoming train. Railway crossings with multiple active tracks require pedestrians and drivers to confirm that all rail lines are clear before proceeding. Even after one train passes, another train may approach from the opposite direction with limited warning time, making full visual and auditory checks essential before crossing.